We came so far from dreams. The path was hard for me. They thought we fall in sin. Well, look at us now, look at us now. We make it hot when we on the scene. Yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team. Yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around. You know that I roll with some kings. We shit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we. Tell me who better than we. We soaring to places you never could reach. When we walk in that spot, don't hear none of you speak. Shh, do you want peace or the peace? A king about to put you to sleep. Listen, my team is elite. You not even qualified to compete. He starving, he barely can eat. I guess that's why he always itching for beef. So I put him on ice and I told him to chill. Close your mouth if you can't pay for the meal. Making statements that you know you don't mean. Nice guy trying to act like he mean. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Attitudes will put you dudes in the beam. Isekai, he don't live in reality. Shake back, overcome a fatality. Yeah, how you gon' hate when you mirror us? He think he a star, he ain't serious. X him out, we not on the same frequency. If you broke, you ain't hearing us. Work the screw, anime, that's how I feel, period. We winning, that's making them furious. We make it high when we on the scene. Yeah, that's 1,000 degrees. I got a grind for me and my team. Yeah, you know we gon' eat. You see the crowds when we come around. You know that I roll with some kings. We shit it down, I don't hear a sound, but I ask you who better than we.
Yo, what it do, guys? It is your boy, Leon Mookie here, and I'm back with you with another new part of What If Izuku Had a Chaotic Quirk. This is part 3, and oh man, I am really sorry, guys, on how long it's been since I last uploaded for that of, well, Chaotic Deku after all. If I'm going to be completely honest with all you guys, I kind of had this part ready for months now. I just didn't bother bringing it out because I wanted to take care of other stuff too. So that's mainly my own fault. But for those who are still excited for this series, thank you for being patient and waiting. At any rate, with all that said, let's go that of a recap. In the last part, we went over on how Izuku basically developed that of his newest quirk. Just as the namesake, his chaotic quirk, which allows him to become that of creatures from the card game Chaotic. Not to mention his time in that of Chaotic itself basically as he actually gets that of training on how to become a creature within Chaotic and also using his quirk outside of it as well. Not to mention him gaining that of friendships within that of with that of his rivals and also that of creatures as well. Several of them even helping out Izuku and his Chaotic gains as well. While also gaining that of new musics, battle gear, and even learning how to fight as well. Even helping out during that of the Marillion invasion, becoming an integral part for the Marillion's downfall. So, with all that said, let's get into this, shall we, guys? It's been a month since the end of the Marillion invasion, as the, Tribe Alliance still stands strong, but Izuku has basically, alongside that of Psycho, has made a bet on how long it will last. Izuku believes that it may last indefinitely, with none of the creatures basically fighting one another. However, Psycho basically made a prediction, given the tea she drank, that the Tribe Alliance will only last for a month. And then after that, it will basically, crumple down. And she was basically right on the money. Right after that, at the very first Parathon, basically tons of creatures, riding all across Param in that of their, vehicle battle gears, with tons of creatures basically, cheating for their tribe, trying to help out that of their tribe, and other things too, which basically led to the alliance basically breaking apart, with Izuku basically owing that of, Psycho one of his cards, unfortunately. As they can't really bet yen in that of Chaotic, so they had to bet with the next best thing, Chaotic cards, which cost him his Lifestone card, one of his most powerful magician users in his deck. Worst part is, it was the non-brainwash version. So that was the biggest loss for him. But even so, A deal's a deal. And however, even though the Tribal Alliance fell apart, new friendships, rivalries, and basically development within that of Chaotic, they still stand. Like, for example, Tenget Toborn, the heroic creature that basically saved all of Param from that of the, Marillion's plan to basically flood all of Param. His team still stayed close. Not to mention, they're still trying to find ways to basically get him out of the frozen wave when he used Song of Stasis. And not the only one, and not the only, creatures from other tribes having that of a strong relationship with each other. Avena and Navena, the two sisters from two completely different tribes, actually got a lot more closer and even worked together as sparring partners. They're still rivals, but they're at least able to tolerate one another now instead of try to, murk each other instead. And many more other creatures working together too, with many other creatures from different tribes working side by side one another. As even though the tribes may be back at each other's throats, there's still hope for at least a better Param. However, what about Chaotic? Well, some things change while some things stay the same. In that of the Tyrasis drone, a match is already going through. With that of a Tenget Toborn. However, this Tenget Toborn looks way much more swoller, bigger, and even stronger than that of the usual Tenget Toborns. Cards. Facing against Shargo, as the two creatures are doing battle in Everrain. Basically a location that constantly always raining. With that of the Tenget Toborn running away. However, he soon brings out that of his battle gear, being the Sword of Kayat, as he slices through multiple trees. That of the Shargo basically is battle gear is that of a skeletal steed, while sending that of a power pulse, a green-like energy that basically looks like that of multiple fists, destroying that of the trees in the way. Within, as that of the Tenget Toborn continues running, he soon sees that of a massive tree in the distance saying, "There it is," before then raising his hand saying, "Vine Snare!" As vines come out of that of his hands. Before then, he basically rushes towards that of the tree. The Sharglo couldn't help but basically grit his teeth saying, "Damn coward!" It's not cowardly, it's strategy. Within him basically landing on the tree before then, still in the air for a bit saying, "What Hydro Ball?" As he sends that of multiple water balls towards that of Shargo. As on that of his skeletal steed, he dodges each one for a bit, saying, "Damn it! I forgot that Tenget Toborn has water attacks instead of earth attacks. Who said that I only have water attacks?" As he gets off that of a fang grin, before then saying, "Earth Spear!" Within, multiple earth shards begin to crackle around that of Everrain. Before then, they soon gather around that of Shargo. Within, getting consumed by that of the earth pillars, he soon jumps off that of his battle gear steed, as it soon is crushed. Within, he couldn't help but grit his teeth, as then saying, "Got you where I want you." With that, bringing out that his battle gear, being that of the Sword of Kayat, and in his right hand, a double edge. With soon, the guy say, "That is bullshit! You can't have that of two battle gears!" That's the difference. With this Tenget Toborn, his special ability allows him to have two battle gears. I just need to basically pay that of one magician to use it, though, from one of my other creatures. Now then, let's have some fun! Soon, he channels that of one attack, as he soon screams out, "Apocalypse!" Within, the guy realizing, shit, I'm screwed. He's soon hit by that of the elemental attack. Before then, he soon turns into Code. The back into that of the battle drone. With that of the Tenget Toborn, as as that of the drone announcer saying the winner is Izumite, showing that of Izuku excited about his victory. All right, now that's what I'm talking about. Well, then that of the person that he won against being that of a big dude with that of black skin as he looks African American, with that of a beanie over his head saying, "Lucky shot, kid," as he takes his scanner and walks off, with even Izuku taking that of his scanner too, with a certain person waiting for him, or certain people, being that a Psycho alongside Tom, Kaz, Sarah, and Peyton, with then saying, "So, how did I do?" With then Tom saying, "Not bad, honestly, did pretty well." With then Psycho saying, "Still can't believe that you had a drone match at this time and hour." With then Peyton saying, "What are you talking about, dudette? It's a bright morning." With then Izuku scratches back his head saying, "That's the thing. In Japan, it's currently, 3 in the morning, so..." With Sarah a little bit scolding at that of Izuku saying, "I can't believe you. You know that you had to get up early for school, so you decided, I had one last drone match. If I didn't do this, who knows what would happen? I might lose my chance to go after Goldmaster Tyrasis after all." With then Tom saying, "That makes sense. After all, I'm also against that of Tyrasis as well. So there might be a chance that you and I have to go against each other." Izuku, within hearing that, Izuku saying, "Not really looking forward to that, to be honest, but hey, I'll do my best to not go down without a fight." Within saying, "That's what I like to hear. Also, you better get back to that of the, teleporters after all." Within saying, right, I gotta get going. You guys take care." As Izuku runs off, so he can basically get back to classes after all. But then Kaz saying he does know that he doesn't need to. I mean, his real self is there, but just not, his code is here in Chaotic. Psycho sighing saying, "Even so, Kaz, we in Japan take that of our education very seriously. And besides, also the first day of school, of back to that of a new semester for many schools." But then Sarah looking at that of Psycho saying, "Then why are you here?" But her saying, "Oh, that's easy. Because even if I'm here in Chaotic, my other self can handle things without me. My quirk doesn't work here in Chaotic. And unlike Izuku, where his quirk allows him to become creatures from here in Chaotic, he needs all of the stamina and strength he needs in the next 10 months for the UA entrance exam after all." Within hearing that, Peyton saying, "Still can't believe you guys in Japan had to go through that of entrance exams just to get into high schools. Normally it's college when it comes for stuff like us here in the West." So, with Psycho explaining, Japan takes education very seriously. If you can't get into the school of your dreams, then you're not worth, basically, having any potential at all. That's just how it is. With then, all 4 teenagers of English Chaotic players can help but feel a little bit, intimidated from those words of the, silver blue net. With Izuku running to that of the scanners. However, little did Izuku know he was about to run into that of a certain someone, as he soon bumps into them as they both land to the ground saying, Sorry, I need to get to the scanner. I need to get back to that of the teleporters. I didn't mean to. Nah, it's my fault. Should have known where I was going." But then, Izuku looks at that of the person as his eyes couldn't help but basically bug out in that of shock and surprise as he sees that of a girl that looks just like the very person who he's literally terrified here in Chaotic, even more than that of the creatures, as they look like Justella. The only difference is, instead of having that of, her long brunette hair that covers that of her right eye, she has that of long blonde hair that covers that of her left eye. Even her fashion sense is kind of different toned after all. However, Izuku doesn't see this, as all he can see is one of his biggest ops against right in front of him, just looking different as he's nervously stuttering, saying, Christella! But then she's saying, wait, Christella, how do you know my sister? But then Izuku's saying, wait, sister? With then realizing, oh, right. I just came to Chaotic a few weeks ago. And to think that my sister already was been here for almost, I don't know how long. With then she stands up and offering a hand towards Izuku, with Izuku a little bit blushing, because again, even though he's been chaotic and his friends with that of Sarah and Psycho, when it comes to women, he still is nervous as hell. As grabbing onto her hand, with him still blushing quite a bit, as she introduced herself, saying, my name is Justella, and you are, within Izuku saying, Izuku Midoriya. So you're Christella's sister? With her saying, yep, unfortunately. And seeing how you looked at me and how you're kind of terrified, she's just as nasty here as she is at home, isn't she? Within Izuku saying, let's just say she and I are not that well friendly with one another. Well, mainly she's not friendly to me, that's all. With Justella couldn't help but say, figured as much. Well, to let you know, I'm farther from what that of my sister is. Where my sister is the biggest pain in the ass both at home and also at school, I'm at least a lot more responsible. That's good to know, before realizing, oh crap, I gotta get going. It's nice to meet you, Justella. With her saying, likewise. As she waves Izuku off, with Izuku heading to that of the teleporters and heading back to that of the real world, returning his code. With currently now, it's at least that of, as Izuku wakes up a bit, hearing that his code, that he needs to get his code. Without warning, he just basically presses on that of his scanner. But soon, he gets all the memories. Before then, dropping his scanner saying, I can't believe it. Christella has a sister? And she's an actual nice person? Within, also thinking she's kind of cute. Within, his face goes kind of red, saying, Before then, hearing that his mother saying, Izuku, are you okay? With her, and him saying, yeah, I'm fine, Mom. Don't need to worry. Before realizing, man, just when the Marillion invasion is over, things in Chaotic just got a lot more complicated. With that, Izuku decided to go back to bed and wake up early in the morning just to head off to that of his last year at Aldera Junior High. On the way there, he did see that of a villain causing that troubles with the heroes being around, such as that of Death Arms, Backdraft, and that of Kamui Woods, and even seeing that of a newly debuted pro-heroine by the name of Mount Lady, who stole Kamui Woods' spotlight and basically took all of the, credit for herself after all. But even so, Izuku still took notes down on not just them, but also her as well. With Izuku heading to that of Aldera, arriving in the school with that of his homeroom class, as a homeroom teacher basically saying that now that they're third years and this is their final year at Aldera, they need to think about what they'll be doing for their future. Either they go straight to high school or decide to go straight into that of the workforce after all, when they turn 15. So he planned on giving them a career aptitude test. However, he doesn't bother as everybody activates their quirks and he tosses the papers up into the air saying, but why bother? I know all of you plan to go to that of the hero track. With everybody going wild, showing off their quirks, with Izuku being the only one who's not even doing so. Second only one that isn't doing so. As the teacher casually and not even trying to discipline all of them with all of them just using their quirks, saying, Now, I know you have all the pressing quirks, but no quirk uses in class. As it basically shows that he doesn't really give a damn or even scolding them at all. Within one voice that's quite obnoxious saying, hey, teach, don't let me in with these losers. They'd be lucky to be that of sidekicks for basically a faceless D-lister after all. Within, everybody stopped using their quirks before soon Izuku saying, oh, Kachan. with the class basically going on an uproar saying, "Hey, you really think you're better than us, Katsuki? Yeah, Bakugo. What makes you think that you're going to become a great hero?" But then Bakugo smirking and basically laughing out loud before jumping onto his desk, saying, "Because I'm the only one from this dead-end school who plans on going to UA." Within, everybody is completely and utterly shocked outside of Izuku, within their teacher basically nonchalantly saying, "Oh yeah, you do got that of high test scores for the past 2 years. And with your quirk, I think you got a chance, Bakugo." Within, Bakugo basically smirking and going out loud saying, "I'm the only one from this dead-end school who passed all the mock exams. I'll be the greatest, strongest, and richest hero of all time. I'll even surpass All Might." Ha ha ha! As he laughs out loud within their homeroom teacher nonchalantly saying, "Oh right, Midoriya, you also plan to go to that of UA too, right?" Within, Izuku basically feeling like all eyes are on him, with many of the students saying, "Given his quirk, definitely, yeah, turning into those creatures from that chaotic card game. That's kind of crazy. Not to mention, have you heard? Chaotic is getting a lot more, popular too. I heard several schools actually, especially high schools, plan on creating that of chaotic clubs. And even the state, and I even hear that of the, government has allowed that of regional tournaments all across that of Japan." With one student saying, "Wait, seriously? So it's really getting that popular? And maybe we gotta start training if we can basically do tournaments in the future." Within, Bakugo can't help but get annoyed at the spotlight not only on him anymore, but now on that of Izuku saying, "Deku!" Within, Izuku's like, "Wait, Gachan, I'm not trying to cause any trouble." Within, sending that explosion towards Izuku's desk. However, Izuku grabbing his things and putting it to the ground. However, he's still sent flying by that of by the explosion shockwave, landing on his butt. Within saying, "You really think you're better than me if you're going to go to UA?" Within, Izuku saying, "Wait, I'm not trying to compete with you, Gachan. I just want to go to UA. That's all." "Oh, really? You think just because you now have some stupid quirk that revolves around a card game, you think you can basically surpass me? You worthless Deku?" "No, that's not what I mean, Gachan. Will you stop basically judging by conclusion? This isn't." Within saying, "Shut the hell up." With soon, the homeroom teacher saying, "Bakugo, that's enough. Get back to your seat. Using your quirks on your fellow students is elite. It will be sent to you with a demerit and to the principal's office." Within hearing that, Bakugo couldn't help but get annoyed at this, especially the fact that his perfect school record would be affected if he did something to the damn nerd now, and now could affect him getting into UA saying, "What the hell ever." Within realizing these damn extras and nobodies wouldn't care about Deku if he still was quirkless. With Izuku getting off the floor as he heads back to his desk as well, putting his chair right back, setting his chair back up and setting back onto it. Within realizing, if it isn't in chaotic, it's still here. I don't get it. Why the hell does Kachan hate me so much? I didn't do anything to him, damn it. And as Izuku reminisced, he couldn't help but think back at chaotic, how things have changed, that he actually does have friends. Sure, he doesn't have friends here in Aldera, but he does have friends in chaotic. People that are close to him, enjoy his hobbies, and don't care about his quirk, but just care about him and him alone, as it's the one thing that keeps him going outside of wanting to become a hero, just like All Might. As the day comes to an end, Izuku decided to head back home so he can basically go back to chaotic, especially since he needs to get straight to that of training with that of all the creatures he does have. Not to mention, he wants to gain that of new creature scans too, as he needs to get stronger. And also with that of his master, Akajun, as Izuku does know how to fight, like how that of his Mapedian master, of course, but he doesn't use it against that of Bakugo or anyone else here at Aldera, mainly because he sees it as beneath him, and he would only do it to protect either himself or others. Nothing more, nothing less. As Izuku was about to put that of his scanner away, that's when Bakugo basically took it from that of Izuku's hand, saying, "Hey, Kacchan!" Before then, Bakugo could say anything. That's when Izuku grabbed his scanner before Bakugo could even react. He basically, palm strikes that of his chest, causing Bakugo to basically lose his breath for a bit. Before then, he goes to that of his knees, realizing what Izuku just did, grabbing his scanner, with Izuku realizing, crap. Knowing what's about to happen next, Izuku, without warning, begins to activate his quirk as going through his scanner, seeing the creature that he needs. As he presses onto it, as he transforms into that very creature, with Bakugo seeing this, with Izuku turning shorter, having more green-like skin and figure, with messy brown spiky hair, large ears, with his left ear having that of one massive gold earring, wearing belt and pants, and also around his arms are that of bat-like wings, as he becomes Rerum, the underworld scout. Before then seeing the opportunity, he slides the door open to the window. Before then, already having that of his bag and having that of his school bag and everything, as he soon flies off. With then Bakugo say, "Damn you, Deku!" As Bakugo rails out before coughing once again, saying, "What the hell was that? How the hell did Deku even hurt me? The bastard's a scrawny ass nerd." With one of his lackeys saying, "Honestly, I have no idea. Ever since Deku got his quirk, he's completely different." With the other guy saying, "Yeah, Midoriya is totally weird. Honestly, whatever that quirk revolves around a freaking card game. I think it's best that we keep our distance from him, Bakugo." Before he could finish, Bakugo cuts him off saying, "Screw that. I need to put that damn nerd in his place again. Quirk or not, he's not getting in the way of my goddamn goal. It's my origin. I won't let him get in the way of my origin story. My goal's to be the #1 hero. He's nothing but a damn pebble in my way." With that, however, when Bakugo looks at that of Izuku, he doesn't see a pebble. He sees a goddamn mountain. A mountain that just won't leave him alone. As he only calls him a pebble, just to reassure himself that what he's doing, that the kind of hero he has to be, is the right kind of hero. Flying through the sky, heading straight back to that of his home apartment, with Izuku couldn't help but basically sigh a bit, as he can't help but say, "Damn, Kacchan, what the hell was he thinking trying to grab my scanner like that?" Then realizing, my scanner. As he thinks, ever since I got that scanner, it's even more important than that of my hero notebooks. As he realized, without my scanner, I can't go to Chaotic. Without my scanner, I can't see them, my friends. As he thinks of Tom, Kaz, Sarah, and Peyton, and even, especially, Psycho, the people who basically give a damn about him outside of his mother, the people that he sees as his closest friends, that give him strength, and not just them, but even those from Param too, like that of Apu, Master Akajin, and also Effler as well, and many other creatures he became close with too. Without them, he can't imagine his life being better than what it is now, as he has a place where he belongs, that being Chaotic. And because of that, he now has something to fight for, something to live for, and he isn't backing down anytime soon. As he gets closer home and soon reverts back to normal, heading to his room, with then saying, as Inko realizing, "Oh, Izuku, you're back home quite soon. I thought it might take a while," saying, "Sorry, Mom. I ended up using my quirk," saying, "Izuku, I'm sorry. It was an emergency, actually, and I just needed to get away." and get back home quickly. So with her, couldn't help but sigh as Inko saying, okay, but please, Izuku, don't do anything too reckless like that again. Who knows, you can basically get in trouble for that of illegal quirk usage again. With Izuku saying, yes, I understand, Mom. Then he goes to his room, puts his notebook down saying, all right, now, time to get to work. Time to begin my training for UA High. Then pressing down on the scanner, scanning himself as he's transported to Chaotic once again. As Izuku's training for the UA entrance exam has only just begun. Arriving at Chaotic and heading straight for the food court, he soon noticed that of a match going on, as he couldn't help but basically be shocked by it, as it being a match between Avena and Navena, two of his signature, ace cards after all, in creatures. Then seeing that of Kaz, Peyton, Tom, and Sarah there, with even seeing that of Clay, but without Christella, as he walks over to his friends saying, hey guys, then Kaz saying, yo, hey, Izuku, with Peyton going, what up, dude? How did school go? With Izuku saying, it could have been better. What's going on? I didn't think I would see a match between that of Navena and Avena. With Tom going, right, they're two of your best cards, aren't they not? Well, you get this. Turns out Christella has a sister named Justella. Then Peyton saying, right, dude, it's crazy. She's totally opposite of Christella, man. Then Izuku saying, wait, you guys met Justella? With everybody looking at that at the greenette. With Sarah saying, you know about her? Then Izuku blushing a little bit saying, I kind of ran into her when I was trying to head back, get my code back to my original body, that's all. She's pretty nice last night, actually. Then, hearing that, Cass saying, wow, surprisingly. And even we were shocked too when she was nice. And now the two of them are actually battling. Then Izuku saying, wow, no fooling? How are they doing? I mean, Justella did say she just joined Chaotic a few weeks ago. So I figured, Sarah saying they're doing quite well for themselves. Especially Justella, for somebody who's still new to Chaotic, she's doing quite well for herself. Seeing the match and seeing on how well that of the two sisters are facing against each other, with attacks basically flying everywhere. Then Izuku saying, wow, that's amazing. I'm guessing Justella is Avena and Christella is Navena. Then them both saying, Justella is an overworld player. I saw by her scanner. And of course, Christella is an underworld player, or rather mixed player, given that she doesn't just use underworlders, but also that of Mepedians. With Cass saying, analytical skills Izumite strikes again. With Izuku getting a little embarrassed by the compliment by Kaz. Before then, the match seeming like it's about to come to an end. With seeing that of Navena's energy being so low, all that Avena needs is to deal 1 damage. However, before she could do so, that's when her battle gear, being that of the snag line, basically snaps, causing that of Avena begin to fall. Seeing the perfect opportunity, Christella's Navena basically sends a power pulse, destroying her entirely, making her get coated, with Christella being the winner, and even means that Justella needs to basically gain that of scans that, Christella wants for herself. With Izuku saying, dang, that was some pretty bad luck there. Then Tom saying, tell me about it. To think that her battle gear would snap just like that? Man, that was some pretty bad luck. Then soon, Clay couldn't help but smirk a little bit. With Izuku looking back at the blonde, sunglass wearing, young man, he couldn't help but think, wait, he didn't. Did he? A few hours later, with Justella getting that of the list of scans that she needs to find for that of her sister, That's when Izuku wanted to confront them, but that's when he heard that of their conversation that Justella could have lost if Clay didn't sabotage that of her sister's battle gear. And even saying since he helped her, he basically deserves a few of those rare scans too from that of her sister. Within hearing this, Justella couldn't help but look conflicted, but then she looked absolutely pissed as saying, "You know what, Clay? Thanks. I appreciate it. Why don't you tell me what kind of scans you want and I'll update that of my sister's list after all." Within hearing that, as Clay begins labeling down with Izuku, quite pissed. Seeing that, Justella, even though that they just met, he could tell that she was a really nice person, and seeing her basically being manipulated and treated like crap by that of her own sister basically stirs something with Izuku. As she got everything down and was about to head to the transport location, before then, Izuku basically caught her saying, "Hey, Justella," within saying, "Oh, great. What do you want, nerd?" With him saying, I heard as Izuku goes on, "I can't believe you. Even though I know that you and your sister don't get along, I can't believe the hell that you would basically be okay with Clay basically cheating for you, especially your sister. Don't you even give a damn about your own family?" Within hearing that saying, "Oh, I don't want to hear this from you, you stupid spineless nerd. And care about my sister? Of course I care about my damn goody two-shoes of a piece of shit sister. I would have been okay with losing to her if I had to. But I wanted to win with my own skills, not with that of Clay basically manipulating shit." Within Izuku hearing that saying, "Wait, what?" With her saying, "Look, Clay wants few of the scans I want from that of my sister. So, to basically screw over my own friend, who basically screwed over my own sister and didn't even believe in me, and even used me to get some free scans out of it too, I decided to give him a piece of his own medicine with the help of my own, and even help out my sister. So again, don't say that I didn't do anything for her or even know our family relationship, you worthless." Within Izuku saying, "So you really do plan on helping out your sister?" Cutting her off entirely saying, "Well, yeah, that was what then come on, I know where they're going. They told me ahead of time." Within giving her showing her the scan location. Within just Justella still caught off guard. Before then just shrugging her shoulders as they head off. Electro Valley, where the first location is, and they caught up with the others about that and began to explain to that of Justella about what happened. Within even Izuku deciding to help out too, saying that if they're going to sabotage battle gear, then best to basically explain to that of certain creatures that he knows to smooth things on a little bit longer and even make conversation too, not wanting to cause any more trouble than they need to. And with that, Izuku, alongside Justella and Justella, head off to basically get the certain skins that Clay wants and sabotage the hell out of them while he can. So they would basically either be unusable or basically not worth it. With Tom smirking saying, even though Justella is a pain in the ass and Justella is actually a good person, I think Izuku's a good touch for the two of them. Within Peyton saying, "The heck you mean, dude? I'm pretty sure they're just using the little greenette bro." Within Sarah saying, "Agreed. If anything, I think Izuku's just being way too nice for his own good." Peyton saying, "Tell me about it. Just imagine if Clay had a twin brother too." With then, Kaz couldn't help but shudder saying, "Ugh, don't put that image in my head, Peyton." With Tom saying, "I know, trust me." Justella is definitely an annoying slimy ass bitch. However, I think it's Izuku that basically balances him out a little bit. But then Sarah saying, "Yeah, let's just hope that Psycho doesn't find out about this," as before she can leave. With all three boys saying, "What do you mean?" Within she's saying, "Wait, you guys don't know?" Within all three of them look at each other saying, "No, what?" Before then, The blonde-haired girl couldn't help but roll her eyes, saying, boys will be boys. Before then, she ports out, as the rest of them also poured out too, still confused on what Sarah meant by that. After that little hiccup, and helping out that of Christella and Justella, and even becoming friends with Justella more than before, Izuku began his training for UA, and even gained that of several scans free of cost from that of Christella as payment, and saying that she doesn't like Izuku, but she at least appreciates the help a bit. As he gained that of 2 new battle gear scans and 1 new location scan. And with that, he might be able to gain that of more access and more powerful creatures in the future. As his 3rd year and training in Chaotic has only just begun. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please tell me what you guys think in the comments below. Love to read them. So, what did you guys like? Sorry that this wasn't a fully action-packed chapter, and also that I basically speed run through that of the first few episodes of, season 3 of Chaotic. But that's the thing. I'm planning on basically blitzing through that of, season 3 of Chaotic to focus on Izuku's training. Because we all know that when season 3 happened, a lot of episodes never got released. And a complete plot line was completely erased because 4Kids TV basically went bankrupt because of the bullshit business decisions that they did after all. So yeah. And alright, if you guys like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to keep updated my videos upload to the channel. Also, please check out my Discord, my gaming channel, my side channel, my other channel, my Patreon, and my Cash App. All linked in the description below. And if you guys have that of a what if commission you want me to do, and please go into the comment section, go to that of the little heart-shaped $sign, and go to that of a super comment. And for that of $5, I'll do that of a what if of your choosing into a one-shot. So, with all that said, this is Leon Mookie, signing out. Later, guys, and hope you all take care. Do your thing, my Shiro.
Hi, everyone. This is White Fox. If you liked Leon's video, click the video on the left to see the most recent one. And if you want to see more of this, click the subscribe button and notification bell. And check out his playlists. If you still haven't subscribed, do so in the center. With that said, I hope to see you again on my love's channel. Bye!